romance anime is changing lives. And this one, not so much.
Is the future of romance anime dead, or are we witnessing the start of a new generation?
It is my aim to find out how romance animes are taking over again. No, not you, Freeran, not you.
To start this journey, we need to look at some of the world's best romance anime, and I've handpicked 4 which I think were generational. We need to look at how they show the romance and how they help change the genre. Some of the elements we're going to be looking for is episode count, themes and moods, and how they portray the romance. Then after this, we're going to be looking at 2 romance animes which have already aired this winter season, and see what they are doing right.
And potentially wrong.
So without further ado, let's find out how romance animes are sneaking their way into 2025. The 2 anime I picked for old gen romances are Your Lie in April, which has an episode count of 24.
And to be honest with you, I think I've done something that I might regret.
I've chosen a film for the second old gen spot, that film being Your Name. The reason I've chosen this film is not just because of its popularity or high rating, I chose it because I love the themes and romance in this film, because you see, it isn't your typical romance. Apart from being one of the best works from Makoto Shinkai's Disaster Trilogy, Your Name doesn't follow the normal romance route, and instead focuses on how 2 people come together through a very weird circumstance. And for this reason, I think it pushes other anime to try something new. Instead of the typical 12 episodes hold hands at the end, it actually breaks the traditional boundary of what a romance is. Your Lie in April, on the other hand, does kind of follow the traditional route but with double the episodes, and whereas Your Name focuses on the fantasy element, Your Lie in April focuses on the music side, with how music brings our 2 lovers together. Both have tragedies in them though, either that be the comet or the loss of someone. But what makes these animes good?
I've already mentioned it.
Fantasy and music. These anime, despite being romances, are actually a fantasy film and a music anime at heart. The romance is a supplement to the story, making it feel more realistic.
Realism.
Realism in the arts is described as the attempt to represent subject matter truthfully without artificially and avoiding speculative and supernatural elements. Henrik Ibsen's play A Doll's House from 1879 is often taught in theatre schools across the world as a standard of a high quality play. It's basked in realism as one of the most accessible plays because of its lack of set changes and easy to understand themes. The reason why realism can be important for any anime or even stage plays because it can relate to the viewer. Back on the topic of Your Name now, because everything I said just doesn't apply. You can't switch bodies and travel back in time, it is simply impossible. I guess romance, anime, and realism in the future don't apply here.
So I guess it's time to end the investigation. It's time to close the book and move on. And this one, not so much. And to be honest with you, I think I've done something that I might regret. I've already mentioned it.
But hang on. There is one defining factor that makes Your Name more realistic than you may have thought. The meteor still hits. But why? Now I know Your Name isn't one of those fantasies where the power of love can move rocks in space, but surely that's a deliberate choice to keep the story in realism, which makes us more connected to it. I want to switch angles on this and look at 2 new romance animes which are secretly changing how we perceive them. So what could these romance animes do which has been done before but make it feel new? Blue Box released its first episode on October 3rd, 2024, and the instant reception was that the anime was different from the rest. It has its own unique charm to it, and it nailed the recipe well. Blue Box's first achievement was breaking that 12 episode stint with being scheduled for 25 episodes, so it already ticks that box. Another way Blue Box ticks a box is by having an anime that's a sub-genre. At its heart is a romance anime with multiple options, however it nails the slice of life and sports in one, combining them together into one 3-course meal you can't miss. There is something else that this anime does with its romance, the same as another recent romance anime.
Can You Keep a Secret? No, that's literally the name of the anime.
Can You Keep a Secret takes place in Tokyo, where the 2 main characters, who are in their 20s, have a secret relationship at work, where in private they are all lovey-dovey, but in person they act like they dislike each other. So what could Blue Box and Can You Keep a Secret have in common? One is set in a high school with love triangles and overhyped school drama, and the other one is with fully grown adults in an office. This is where we get to the whole reason of this video. Finally revealing the reason I'm talking right now. Why aren't all romance animes created equally? Why do some get fan service treatment? Why do some just not get that love? There are many great romance animes out there that people don't watch. They're missing something. that spark, that something inside. And I found out what it is. Maturity. Yeah, that's it, it's maturity. When people think of anime in general, they may think of it as silly cartoons or fanservice heaven for the less abled. But what these 4 anime of the old and new do is bring a level of emotional maturity to it that other anime don't really bring. Let's take Blue Box for example. In the first 14 episodes, there are no fan service at all. There's zero, none. I see a lot of comments online talking about how fan service is ruining anime, and I totally agree. It feels forced or even dumb sometimes. Anime that are able to bring realism, mix of genres and maturity are winning at the moment. They are winning the minds of everybody. And when I say realism, it doesn't mean that it can't have expansive worlds or fantasy powers. It just needs to be believable with maturity within that world. Take something like My Happy Marriage, for example. Can You Keep a Secret is changing the mold even further by having 2 adult main characters. You don't see this in romance. Usually it's teenagers in school because of all the school drama. But it's kind of like if real life continued after when the manga ended, would it be something like Can You Keep a Secret? It's interesting to see adults, for once, people of age, kind of how they navigate romance, maybe in Japan.
Long gone are the days of immature and fan-serviced anime characters which just ruin the story and the themes like a setup. But until My Dress Up Doll in Season 2, anyway.
I think it's just nice to see how romance animes are making a comeback with its own winter arc. They've been immature, now they're ready to grow and develop. There is a movement happening. A shift where more people are calling out the weird ways in which some animes operate and applauding the maturity of others. It's nice to see. It's nice to see that anime can be mature and bring in a new fan base, which means more people to talk about it, more people to watch videos and have discussions in the comments below. I think it's a great step in the right direction for anime and kind of globalization of it. Now, some people want to gatekeep anime, but I don't think that's necessarily what you want to do. I think as many people should be able to enjoy the things that we found and we enjoy, because at one point we didn't know about it. So what happens now? These anime will air and ultimately be forgotten to time. But for now, they are paving the way for the next half of the decade. They are saying that anime can be mature and mix genres well, and the more and more people should get into anime and enjoy them.
So are romance animes paving the way for a more mature focus? I don't know. I'll let you decide. I've been Connor's Anime World, and I'll catch you all later.